Okay, welcome to the 2026 Mississippi State Bulldogs. I have a little more confidence. I think this is the best of the three teams that I don't think have a shot at going bowling. I think they have the best shot. Their schedule makes it a little tricky. So we were talking about this the other day. I was mentioning the coach from Mississippi State, Jeff Levy's the coach. He runs kind of a spread offense where they can beat you with the long passing game. It's the exact same system that Heupel and also Alex Golesh, who's now at Auburn. So now you got three of these SEC coaches running the Heupel. Used to be the Art Giles Baylor system. He's one of them. Jeff Levy was with Josh Heupel, I think at UCF, maybe Baylor. I'm not sure, but he did not. He wasn't with Heupel at Tennessee though, but he's took it over last year, Mississippi State. They went 5-8. They, of course, had that huge win over Arizona State, and then they just did not. They lost a tight one to Florida. There's a couple other tight ones. Tennessee lost a tight one to Tennessee. They were this close to go. I think Texas was another team that took down the wire, and they had actually a pretty sizable lead on Texas to let them come back and win. But yeah, Mississippi State was this close to making a bowl. Well, they did make a bowl game, but they were like 5-7, and they lost to Wake Forest. So. Yeah, they made a bowl game at 5-7. To me, that's not really making a bowl game. You have to have 6 wins or more, in my viewpoint. And can they get to 6 wins this year? I don't know. They do have some uncertainty at quarterback. They return a really good wide receiving core. Their defense is actually returns a lot of starters. Should be competitive. It's not the strongest defense, but it's a decent defense. Kind of like Tennessee. I was talking about Tennessee. So, but they have a tricky schedule, and I think. Really, it comes down to week 2. So they start out losing to Monroe, then they go at Minnesota. I have them losing to Minnesota. Minnesota's been fairly good the last few years. They were a little bit down last year, but going all the way up there and winning seems to be a big hurdle for them to overcome. But stranger things have happened. If they beat Minnesota, I think they have a great shot at going to bowl game. But I don't see them beating Minnesota here. Then they got at South Carolina. I don't really see them winning that one. But you never know. If they win that one, South Carolina's in trouble. And a lot of my predictions about South Carolina upsetting people like Tennessee and other teams, I think they were supposed to scare, who was it? I think it was Alabama had them on their schedule. And there's a couple other teams at Georgia where they were kind of a scary game. Mississippi State goes into South Carolina wins. South Carolina has some major problems, I feel like. But that's a game I don't see Mississippi State winning. So already they're 2-1. They got Missouri. That's a game they could win. It's at home. Winning in Starkville's not easy for a lot of teams. Maybe. I think that might have been. I had them winning 5 games. That may have been one of the 5 I had them winning. I think I had them beating Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Auburn. So, yeah, I think Missouri could definitely lose that game. I think I had Mississippi State winning that game. Alabama, probably not. Alabama's too familiar with them. I think it's actually one of the most. So I think Alabama and Mississippi State's one of the most played series in the SEC. They played Mississippi State a lot. And I can't remember, is that one of Alabama's permanent rivals, or did they do Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State, or Auburn, Tennessee, LSU? I can't remember. But I was a fan of them keeping Mississippi State because the two schools are actually geographically very close, and they played a lot. So then they got at LSU. No, not going to happen. If they do, Kiffin's in real trouble. Oklahoma, not going to happen. That one could be a little bit interesting just because the offense could give if Oklahoma doesn't put up a lot of points, it could be interesting. But, yeah, that one's not happening. Texas, no. Vanderbilt, I think they'll beat Vanderbilt. I really do. Vanderbilt. I think they'll beat Vanderbilt and go on to win that one. I think Vanderbilt, that's a game they could lose, but I think they'll win it. Sorry, my cat is meowing. Then they got Auburn. I think they'll beat Auburn. I think they could beat Auburn. That's going to once again be a high-scoring game. I think Auburn going to Starkville might be a little too much for Alex Golesh. That's going to be interesting because you got two of the Art Giles Baylor kind of offenses going at it. That'll be interesting. And kind of like Tennessee, Mississippi State last year. Mississippi State played Tennessee very well because they knew Tennessee's system. And I think that the Jeff Levy will know Auburn's system. Alex Golesh will know Mississippi State's system. It'll be an interesting back-and-forth game. Tennessee Tech, they'll win that one. At Ole Miss, unless Ole Miss, I'm not very high on Ole Miss, but unless Ole Miss just really crashes and burns, I have to go with Ole Miss on this one, especially it being in Oxford. I think that Ole Miss is not going to probably live up to hype, but I think they'll still be good enough to beat Mississippi State. And that's a fun rivalry, Mississippi State and Ole Miss. So I think Mississippi State makes some strides here, but likely doesn't go bowling. I had them winning, I think, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Auburn were the three I had them beaten, plus Louisiana Monroe and Tennessee Tech. So this is a very brutal schedule. Give them Kentucky or Arkansas, replace, let's say, Oklahoma or somebody with one of them. I think this team goes bowling. And that Minnesota game, that's a tough game for them. If they can win that, that's going to really boost their season. But having that as their non-conference really kind of hurts as well. So, yeah, this is not an easy schedule by any means. And I think there's just too many tough games on here for Mississippi State to go bowling this year. Even though I really think they might actually make strides and look better than even last year. I think it's too much schedule. And that's kind of my 2026 Mississippi State prediction. They'll scare some people. They'll probably beat some people. They're going to be fun. I think they'll be fun to watch. I think the team is going to be fun to watch. I think they'll be, 5-7 may get them bowling. Maybe they do go bowling at 5-7. But I don't think they'll get to the 6 wins. And to me, to be bowling, you have to get 6 or more wins. So I just don't see them doing it. But yeah, more that will be the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So yeah, they'll be fun to watch, competitive. Too much schedule to go pretty far. Let's give them a little softer schedule. Put a Kentucky or an Arkansas in here, or sub that Minnesota game out. Maybe have Minnesota going to Starkville, or maybe have it be a more manageable opponent, like let's say Purdue or Rutgers or something. Yeah, I think they go bowling. But that's kind of where we're at. Too much schedule for them to really go bowling.